All right, just nothing surprising. You know, after I go back and watch the tape, it was the same thing. Unfortunately, I saw on Saturday. First of all, give Tennessee State, credit. They did what they had to do to win the game. You know, when your offense is not producing, we were playing good defense as well. And it's one thing we talk to our defense about is we played good on defense. Okay, but now we got to take it to the next level from the standpoint of now get the turnover. We had a chance to get some picks, we had a chance to get some fumbles, recoveries. Now take it and score. Okay, I saw a stat, and it's a great credit to Tennessee State. They've had 22 straight games with at least one takeaway. Okay, and they didn't turn the ball over. Okay, and so therefore, so give them credit for that. And our defense is something we got to continue to work on. But I was pleased with how hard physical we did play on defense. Offensively. Now, with that being said, we had 3 personal fouls on defense. Okay, whether guys are flopping, falling down, the officials aren't seeing the whole thing. They just turn to see an altercation, and their guys did a good job of drawing the flags, and our guys didn't do a good job of being mature and handling those things. And we had talked about that, and we wasn't very smart. And so that cost us, 45 yards on our defense. Okay, and then we had one on offense, which was we were inside the 20-yard line, plus side of the field. We got that one. Then you got 9 penalties on offense. We got an All-American getting a holding call and jumping off sides. 20 yards on one very good player for us. That's I would say that's uncharacteristic of it, but it's plagued us all year. You go back and look at our stats, and from a penalty standpoint and turnover point, the field goal was low, didn't get up high enough that they blocked, Scooten scored. Okay, so Jackson's done a good job all year. That one's a little bit low, and they did get a little bit of push, but it wasn't like somebody really jumped. They just kind of reached over. The pick, good play by them. Jared just made a bad read, bad throw. Okay, but I did think Jared Neal competed very well. He made some throws. Kept us in the game a little bit as far as from a throwing standpoint, but we didn't protect him at all. And give them credit. They rushed the passer really well. Got us in a situation where they dictated to us that we had to throw the ball, and that was not so much the score. It's a combination of the score and not being able to run the ball against them. And they look at their stats, and we're not the only ones not being able to run the ball against them. So they won the game up front, and our guys to see it on tape. We got beat pretty good up front, so we got to go back and try to get better, and correct our mistakes and move on.
Coach, you mentioned that on the positive side of things, the defense was considerably better this week. What worked for them, just besides maybe some toughness? What was?
We didn't do a whole lot different. We just played. If you go back, same way thing we did to them last year. Until it became we had the lead. The game was set up the same as it was last year. So we got stopped, we got short in the fields. The difference was last year our quarterback and wide receiver converted. We got the 2 quick scores. You're up 14-0, and then you got a normal drive, you got to score, and then they turned it over again. So they turned the ball over last year, and our experienced quarterback and receiver was able to get, but we didn't block them any better last year. We didn't, and so that's the difference. That's the difference right now is some inexperience at some positions on offense, penalties and turnovers against good teams. Now you might beat a less team than that. But not going to be a good team, and unfortunately, we still got a lot of good teams to play.
You mentioned that Jared did a fairly good job keeping you on the game, but obviously the pick 6, I can imagine, is going to be on his mind a little bit just because it's a bad feeling. How concerned are you about maybe that shaking him a little bit going forward?
No. He, as a matter of fact, he played really well after that. He really did. He knew as soon as it left his hand. And I've seen Derek Carr throw that same pick against Knoxville, 4 years ago. Guys, that ball's having to come out like under 2 seconds sometimes, and he was still able to push the ball down the field a little bit. And receivers made a couple of plays for him, but against that defense, finish up, what would be 24-45. That's for his second full start with the amount of pressure and the times he was getting hit. That's a good learning experience. He'll draw on every one of those snaps as we go forward.
You got Austin Peay coming up this week. They're having a really bad season, although they played better against Murray State in the first half. How do you keep this game from being a trap game for your team?
Right. There's a couple things. First and foremost, we just got beat we got embarrassed the way we played. We looked not very well coached. We looked not very disciplined. You know, right now it's about us. That was, you know, I don't know if we've ever been down at home that I know of 29-7. In my 8 years here as the head coach, I don't know if we've ever been down like that. We scored one late touchdown, made it look closer than what it was. So, you know, we're going out full pads tonight. We're getting better. We still got five games left. So it's about us. It's getting better, and you know the point will be made too. You know, 2 SEC teams, one that beat Georgia, one that just beat South Carolina. Okay, Knoxville scored 3 points against them in the second half. Vanderbilt scored none. Okay, that's the first 2 games, you know, of the year, or 2 of the first 3. You know, Chattanooga's 5-2 now. That's another loss that they had. And then you look at EIU, EKU, right? I mean, you know, where would we be if that was our schedule early in the year? We had a tough schedule on top of that. So, you know, if you don't understand football, then you don't understand. You don't understand that. I think they're combined. The 3 OVC teams they've played are 15-7. You know, so they've gone through, that team has gone through a tough stretch. So they're going to beat somebody. You know, this can't start this week.
So their head coach, this is his first year, and he hasn't really been able to get out and do any recruiting, so he inherited what they previously had.
Right.
How are you going to attack his system, knowing that he has not really had the time to get the kids?
When you break down tape, you really don't even think about any of that kind of stuff. You just, what you see on tape is what they're coaching and is what their schemes are, and you come up with the best, you know, plan that you have, and then you don't play. This time of year, you don't really think about that. That's something, you know, in the future. But yeah, you know, they're playing hard. And I've obviously been concentrating more on their defense. You know, I think they're going into this week. They've only been giving up like 445 yards a game. Okay, but based on that schedule, we were second in the league at 380. So there was, I mean, so yeah, it's only 65-yard difference. Okay, and so anyway, I've been impressed on defense. They play hard. They're in all the games at halftime. What was it this past week? And going to the 4th quarter, was it 17-7 or something similar to that against Murray? So you know, we play like we did this week, we'll lose. Bottom line, I don't care who we play.
You talked about the individual matchups against Tennessee State. I mean, how many of these individual matchups do you expect to win against Austin Peay? I mean, it seemed like to be.
Hadn't got that far into it. As far as, you know, personnel and stuff. And you know, this is a week, like I said, we need to worry more about us than who we're playing. And probably, you know, go back and maybe should have done more of that last week. I mean, you always hindsight, try to find a way to get better and what you would have done different and stuff. But yeah, we didn't win a whole lot of individual matchups up front, especially our offensive line versus Tennessee State's defensive line. They did a good job.
How much, as far as when you're assessing this coming week, I mean, obviously you have to get the win, but I mean, how much are you going to just look at sort of the way you guys played as far as assessing where your team is?
Well, you know, offensively, you got to go back and find out, you know, kind of, you know, who you are. We've gotten yards over the year, but that's going touchdowns. And you know, once again, it goes back to turnovers, penalties, and I mean that's the whole thing. I mean, last year we threw 8 picks. What did he throw? 20-some touchdowns. Okay, this year the touchdown to interception ratio is not there. Okay, and that's okay. We have 7 senior starters on defense. Okay, I've told our coaches we you know, second year in the system, we should be better on defense. Okay, I wouldn't expect, we got good coaches, good players on defense. I don't expect us to go backwards. Okay, now offensively we've got to pick it up, and you don't have to score 40 points to win games. Not the way we're playing defense, but you can't get 14 penalties or 19 penalties. You can't throw pick 6. You can't get field goal blocked. Those are things you can't do. But it's okay to win a game 24-21. Nothing wrong with that.
Of course, that said, one thing I was going to ask you, and you might not like this, but you know, in certain games where you have you know, maybe a bigger advantage, I mean, does that sort of enter your mind to try and maybe you know, impress some people with margin when you can, as far as you know, looking at the rankings down the road?
No, not really. And the reason I say that is I don't necessarily know that we're built like that anymore. Now, would I like to go out? You know, you like to go out there every week and your defense dominate, you know, and get turnovers, get a short field, and you're able to punch something in. Yeah, but you know, coming off a loss. I mean, we lost 2 games here at home. It's been a while since we've lost 2 back-to-back. I can't remember really ever losing 2 back-to-back games here at home. So we're hungry. Our team better be, have a point to prove no matter who we're playing this week.
Kind of going forward, DJ McNeil's been a big part of this offense. I mean, he's on pace to probably hit 1,000 yards for the season. How much is he going to be a part of things kind of going forward the next couple of weeks?
Well, DJ is certainly be, we got to block guys. We got to block guys. You got to be able to get some movement up front. You got to be able to sustain blocks. And DJ's running hard. Disappointed DJ with the penalty that he got. And he certainly took responsibility for it. But that's the experience that he has. That's unacceptable for a player of his experience. He got the personal foul and it set us back. But we're still running back by committee. There's still, every time Trent Garland touches the football, something positive happens. Okay. As Najee Ray continues to grow up and be a better teammate, be more mature, and with the ball in his hands, he's fun to watch as well. And then Boo, you'd like to get him going. So I'm happy with that running back core. I am.
How did the team come out injury-wise?
We're okay. A couple shoulders, but I seen an injury report this morning. I think. Well, I'll tell you what, we got a guy, Crenshaw, one of our guards, and that hurt us in the game too. Our starting right guard had to come out of the game, I think, in the first quarter. So we played the rest of the game, and that put us behind. And I don't know if he'll be back this week or not.
Coach, a couple of days ago you said you were hoping to maybe have Favre back for the Murray State game. Do you have a plan as far as when you'd like to get him practicing again?
As soon as possible. Bart said he was moving around the training room pretty good this morning. Okay, so you would hope every day. Of course, Dylan's telling me, I won't play this week. So, I don't think that'll be the case. So hopefully next week we'll be ready to go. Because that'll put him about 10 days out. From what's considered a minor surgery, but still anytime. Yeah.
So do you think he'll practice at all this week?
I hope so. I hope by the end of the week. Maybe some limited stuff. I hope so. Good. Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all.